Alright, so when this video plays, I had a complete conclusion about these wheels. Everything was great. I filmed the entire video, but then a few days after filming that video, an issue did pop up with these wheels. So stick around for the entirety of the video and I'll address what happened at the end of it. When building a vintage road bike, you'll come across a hurdle where you'll obtain a frame that has 126mm spacing in the rear dropouts, and you need a wheel set for it. And the issue is, if you want to build your own wheel set, it's going to be time consuming and costly, or you don't have the skills to do it, such as myself. So an alternative is obtaining a used wheel set, like off of eBay or locally. But the problem with that is you don't know the history of it. And from what I've read, the manufacturing process back in the day, the heat treatment isn't as good as today's wheel sets. That's kind of a detail that deters me from buying used wheel sets from the 80s and 90s. And there's really not a huge market for wheel sets with 126mm spacing in the rear. And that's where the Sun M13 wheel set comes into play. I'm gonna go over the pros and cons. There's an overwhelming majority of pros than cons. But stick around, I'll explain. So a thing that I do like about the wheel set is its sealed ball bearing hubs. I'm really not a fan anymore of the loose ball bearing hubs that Shimano has. It's just kind of annoying. Especially out in this dusty city, you need to do your services more often, including the loose ball bearing hubs. But with the sealed ball bearing hubs, I know from experience that it will last almost forever, because I've actually had 3 Sun M13 wheel sets. 2 of them I have now, and 1 I bought years ago. I first had them on my new Albion homebrew road bike. It wasn't the right size, so I had to part it out and sell it, so I got rid of them. But that was my first experience with those wheels. So I didn't mention earlier about vintage wheel sets, how I won't personally get them. And the reason being is, like I mentioned, the old manufacturing process is not as good as today's process. So a lot of times when you find used wheel sets, they could be softer. They could have cracking in the eyelets where the spokes and the spoke nipples meet the rim. And also, a lot of times their price just doesn't justify buying them for what they are. Oh, and if you're wondering why my voice sounds so terrible, I'm not sick. My allergies are just acting up because every spring, the plants bloom, the dust just gets kicked up everywhere from the cold and warm fronts fighting. So I did an allergy test and I'm literally allergic to everything in the desert. So I gotta get out of here soon. So there's 2 versions of this rim. There's one that's all silver, and then the one that I'm riding now, which is silver spokes, black hubs, and black rims. So since they're 36 spokes, I know from personal experience that they're extremely durable and stiff, and they really don't go out of true often. And that's what's good about them too, because they're 36 spokes, you can actually dive into truing wheels yourself, because when you make adjustments, it's not too drastic since there's more spokes. Whereas, for example, my Mavic Open Pros, when I would true the spokes, it'd only take a few turns of like 2 or 3 spokes and that thing would go out of whack. Just because it's a soft rim, it's 32 spokes, which 32 spokes is not a deal breaker, but combined with the Mavic Open Pros, it was bad. Yeah, there's just so much dust in the air during spring, but I'm telling you, I'm fine. So you may be wondering if the wheel sets are good for climbing. And right now I'm on a gradual climb. They're perfect, I have no complaints. And especially if you are getting some speed, you want to be aerodynamic, get an aerodynamic position before worrying about your wheels. Also, yes, there's shallower rims, but the real world is not a wind tunnel, so it doesn't matter. Your body position is everything in regards to aerodynamics. So my tire recommendation for these wheel sets is either going with the Michelin Dynamic Classic, especially with the silver ones. They just match. They're very durable, so you don't have to worry about punctures. At least I haven't had to worry about it, and I'm always surrounded by rocks, which kick up on the road. Or if you want pure speed, get the GP 5000 tires. Also, another detail is you have to source a freewheel. Now, Shimano does make 7-speed and 6-speed freewheels new. I think they're classified under the tourney category. I haven't tried them, so I have no opinion on them. But it's really easy to source from eBay a new old stock or a used Centaur freewheel or a Shimano freewheel. There's tons available, and some are new old stock and are in really good condition, but don't pay too much. I mean, I stick around the $30 mark, give or take. Some people are asking way too much, so that's kind of a pain that you have to source that, but once you do, it works perfectly. Oh, also, the threading on the rear hub is going to be English threading. So I know that I've only had English threaded freewheels, and I've never tried Italian. There's that thing where Italian, I think, can screw on the hub, but then you can't go back to English. I don't know, just get English threaded freewheels. Okay, so where's the best place to buy these wheels? There's two options. There's one option on eBay from a seller where I bought the wheels for the Fuji Palisade. I won't call them out because they've been really good, but the way that the silver wheel set was packaged and delivered, it wasn't in the best shape. It wasn't trued, so I had to do that myself, but it did come with rim tape. And the second option, which is my preferred option, is going with velomine.com. Once again, I'm not sponsored by them at all. This is my own opinion, and I spent my own money on it. When Velomine shipped me these wheels that I'm riding now, they were perfect. It looked like they actually looked over them. The packaging was fantastic. It was very secure, and they were true. So, and after a few hundred miles, I still haven't had to touch them. So whatever they did there was really good. The only thing with Velomine is on their site, as of me recording this video, they have the wheel set pictures with Quanta logo on the hubs and on the quick release skewers, I believe. And I actually don't like that. I don't like the logo so big. They sent me the wheels. I bought them and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just deal with it. So they sent me the wheels and it turns out to be the Origin 8 logo, which I prefer. It matches my seat post. So that's one knock about that, but it's really no big deal because I'm sure if you really didn't like the logos, you can take rubbing alcohol or something to rub it off. But I prefer the wheel set with the Origin 8 logo. But yeah, that's just one discrepancy with velomine.com. Another con that's really not a huge deal is if you don't have experience with freewheels and how the threading is, you could potentially mess up screwing the freewheel on. But I just always screw them in by hand initially, and just very lightly too, because it will just go on if it's threaded right. So you don't have to worry about the initial installation process having to really crank it down. Also, if you wanted to see a more cinematic video of my bike, click right up here and I'll link the showcase video that I made for this bike. In conclusion though, do I really mean these are my favorite wheel sets of all time? Absolutely. Absolutely. I highly recommend these wheel sets if you obtain a frame that has that 126 millimeter rear spacing. And best part is it's such a budget-friendly wheel set as well. So that's two major factors why I love this wheel set, is the budget-friendly price and it works with the vintage frame sets. Now, if I could change things, they really need to release a version with silver hubs, silver spokes, and black rims. that is the proper combination for vintage builds. That's what they used to use quite often, was silver hubs, silver spokes, and black rims. Oh, and speaking of the rims, I've yet to have any wear on the black finish, so that's actually really cool. I do want to thank you for sticking around through this video and pairing with my voice. Obviously it's gonna get better soon, but I really wanted to make this video because the season is here and I can whip out my vintage cycling jerseys that I get off of eBay. This one's from 1998. I have no clue the context of it, but I think it looks pretty cool. But if I didn't cover a specific topic about the wheels, feel free to comment below. I'll try to answer them. And also, if you have other questions that I may not be able to answer, shoot Velomine an email. They'll respond pretty quickly. Also, if you want to still keep up to date with these wheel sets, follow me on Instagram or stay subscribed. And if there are any issues that pop up or any details, I'll definitely provide an update. So once again, thanks for watching, subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next video. Okay. So what wound up happening is I would ride and I would feel this, when I would be out of the saddle and climbing, I would feel this thumping noise coming from the front wheel. I thought perhaps maybe it was a loose spoke, because I've experienced that before where a spoke had no tension and it kind of makes this like clicking, thumping noise. But all these spokes are perfectly trued and they're perfectly tensioned as well. So I was just so puzzled at what was going on. But then randomly I inspected the wheels again and this happened. I do apologize for the lighting, but you can see the bearing is pressed in here. But check this out, if I push with my hands, the bearing is rotating. It's supposed to stay still in the hub. Here's an example where I'm doing the same thing and the bearing's not rotating in the hub. And like I've mentioned, I've had 3 of these wheel sets. First one I had in 2018 and I rode for years until I parted that bike out and sold it. And then I have one on my Fuji bike and it's perfectly fine, doesn't experience this issue. And so that's what the conundrum is right now. I still absolutely love these wheel sets. I love the design, the concept of everything, but I've never seen this issue pop up online nor anyone discuss it. So I'm glad I'm documenting this, but of course it had to happen when I was making the wheel set review video. But I'm gonna reach out to Velomine, see what they say. I got these for a Christmas gift and hopefully there's still warranty left on them. It doesn't say on their site, so this is a time to really see what Velomine does. If not, I feel like I could probably fix it myself. I would hate to put super glue on it, but maybe something where the bearing can still sit flush in the hub, but keep it in place. Because other than that, that's the only issue, is the bearing is just rotating. There's nothing else. It's machined quite well. But yeah, if you want to find out the solution, what winds up happening, stay subscribed. I'll keep you up to date with the solution.